Well, good day again, everybody. Outside of the warmth of the pastor cave, the storm rages. We just continue to get winter weather, and it's just a few inches at a time. And then, at the end of the week or beginning of next week, the cold is supposed to descend upon us. So I'll be spending a lot of time here in the pastor cave, as I often do during the winter months. We are in Exodus chapter 4, and Moses has been challenged by God to throw his staff on the ground. Last couple of video notes have dealt with that. And then he's challenged by God to throw it on the ground. Then he's challenged by God to pick it up again after it becomes a snake. And what we ended with last week was this idea that God says, pick it up by the tail, which is exactly what you don't want to do with a poisonous serpent. You don't want to pick it up by the tail. So in his own way, God is challenging Moses to do things differently than what the world would ordinarily perceive him to do, or say that he should do. And that's going to be a pattern in Moses' life now. He's going to have to listen to God, and he's going to have to listen to what God tells him to do in the face of all kinds of opposition, in the face of people saying, hey, don't rock the boat anymore. Don't keep rocking the boat. Pharaoh's really getting mad, and this pattern is going to continue in his life, to listen to God rather than man, and this is really just the beginning for him as he picks this thing up, and. So let's face it, if you're Moses, the big reason that you don't want to go do this is that you don't want to die. Okay, God says, go challenge this power. This is not just go have a fist fight with your neighbor. This is Pharaoh. This is the king of Egypt, who has vast resources and vast armies, but he doesn't even need that. He just, he can just tell one of his servants, hey, go cut that guy's head off. So if you're Moses, you don't want to die. So this is God's way of saying to Moses, God is speaking to Moses indirectly through these visuals that God is seeing. That Moses is seeing. And God is saying to him, look, that which should destroy your life will not. Okay? All these things around you that should destroy you, that should destroy your life, will not destroy your life if you simply follow what I'm telling you to do, even when it doesn't seem, logical, like picking up a snake by the tail. Okay, so it is the opposite of the world's way of doing things. And and then he actually says in verse 5, after he picks the snake up and it becomes his staff again, this is what God says in verse 5. He says, "This, said the Lord, is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." Okay, so what God is saying is, Moses, if you can do things my way, not your way, not the standard way of doing things that a lot of people maybe should think that you should do them. If you can live my way, the way that I would have you live, I will make it so that they will believe you. In other words, the Israelites, the people that you need to believe you, will believe you. And this, again, is a pattern for anybody who wants to be a follower of God. There is a way that you need to live, that I need to live, that is kind of contrary to the flow of the world. I always call it swimming upstream. When you're trying to live as a Christ follower, you're swimming upstream all the time. You're against the flow of the majority of society. The majority of culture is going this way, and you're swimming up against that. And that, believe it or not, is one of the best witnesses, without ever opening your mouth. That's one of the best witnesses that will make you believable. Okay, because you're putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak, or you're putting your life where your mouth is. You're saying that you believe a certain thing, and you're also living it out, in spite of whatever persecution may come, or people making fun of you, or people calling you a hick or a hayseed or whatever, what a Jesus freak, whatever they want to call you. So Moses, if you do things my way, this is it's gonna work out for you, and they will believe you. Okay, so then God gives him a second sign, and the Lord said, "Put your hand inside your cloak." So Moses sticks his hand in his cloak, and when he took it out, it was leprous, so he has leprosy. Leprosy is all over his hand. Okay, and then God says, "Now put it back into your cloak." And so Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored like the rest of his flesh. Okay, so for 8 seconds, or however time it took for Moses to process what was going on, Moses had leprosy. Okay, and to me, when you look at that, this is God's way of saying, in a very visual way, this is God's way of saying, look, I can bring you into trouble, and I can bring you out of trouble. Okay, so a lot of us think that God exists, or we treat God as if he exists just to get us out of trouble. Just oh God, I'm in a bad spot. Get me out of here. Okay, but for the follower of God, when you're really surrendered to God and his will and what he's doing, God will actually bring you into trouble, and then he will bring you out of trouble as he sees fit. Okay, and the greatest example of that is just going to be a few chapters down the road, when God intentionally has the entire nation of Israel backed up against the sea with Pharaoh's choice top military force on the other side. They're absolutely trapped, and God trapped them there. God actually there's no other way you can look at it. God put them there. Okay, why does God put them there? Well, God puts them there so that he can show them that he can get them into trouble, and he can get them out of trouble. So Moses, put your hand in a cloak. I got you into trouble. But just wait. Put your hand back in your cloak again. You're out of trouble. Okay, and that very much is a pattern, for believers across the ages. If you look at the life of Paul, he gets into trouble all the time, and then God takes him out of trouble. And Peter, he gets into trouble, and God takes and brings him out of trouble. And really, you might say, if you're really going to accomplish anything for God in this world, you're gonna have to allow God to get you into trouble, and then get you out of trouble. And that very much is the pattern. Hey, we're trying to shorten it a little bit today because the last couple of sessions have been long. I'm in under 10 minutes today, so I hope you have a wonderful day. We're up over 500 views on the last, and almost 500 views on the video before that. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We are a growing phenomena on the internet. Well, maybe not, but we are a growing trend on YouTube. And so Vita Brevis Gloria Eterna. Life is short. Glory is eternal. Have a wonderful day.